Hello, everyone. Welcome to the International Student Scientific Conference, Future Creators 2026. The conference brings together students from 13 different countries, and today, presentation will be held in 10 different sections, starting from tourism to law, economics, technology, health science, marketing, business, science, management, and media. But before we begin, shall we welcome the director of SMK College of Applied Science in the name of Victoria Palubinskene to give the opening speech.
Hello, all participants of our international conference, Future Creators. Today at SMK, we have big event. I think more or about 100 participants today will present new knowledge, innovation, and different approach to the world. I really would like to say thank you for you that you dedicate the time for a science, for research. And it's really important for all our future. Also, I would like to say some thanks for your supervisors. I think it's really important and big work which we do together and to help for you young researchers to prepare their ideas to present today. So thank you very much for all your time, for all of you, and I would like to wish success. Congratulations.
Thank you very much, the director, for the welcoming speech. That was very welcoming. And now let's move straight to the first presenter today, which happens to be me. So thank you for everyone watching us from everywhere today. My name is Samson Toye, and I will be talking about the green transition. Just let me give you a brief bio about myself. My name is Samson. I'm from Nigeria, and I've been an alumni of SMK and happens to be a lecturer here in SMK. I currently have my PhD running on the topic of sustainable behavior, creating a measurement that can help us check how sustainable an individual is, regardless of where they operate. So the topic of my presentation today is going to be a green transition. What is a green transition, and how does a green transition becomes a career we can explore, the planet we can protect, and the opportunity we can explore? So the agenda of today is going to emphasize on 3 points, which is the science. And the science helps us to emphasize that why we must act out. What is happening regarding the field of sustainability? I'm sure everywhere you go today, you hear the word sustainability, sustainability, sustainability. And the science helps us to dive deeper about why this topic is becoming an emerging one. The second is the opportunity. We've seen that sustainability is booming, but are we taking part from those booming trend that is happening to sustainability? The third one is what we can do. A little action that we can act today can have a significant impact in the future. So let's look at the science of why we must act now. Looking at the diagram on the screen, we can see that the planet is sending a signal, and the signal is alarming. And we can see at plus 1.55 degrees, this is to tell you that 2024 happens to be one of the warmest planets on Earth, and which we've seen that some regions have far more affected compared to the other one. And also, we've seen the amount of carbon emission that we've emitted to the air, which is 3.4 carbon emission. This is significant, 37.4, sorry. And of course, this is slower. This is more than what is agreed in the planet, on the Paris Climate Agreement. But we can see that there is a slower growth, but we're still emitting more. And also we can see on the other side about the cost of our atrocities of not being sustainable and the distribution of how each of those sources of energies are contributing to the sustainability. If we look at what we have today, the price, actually one of the source of energy now, one of the cheapest source of energy can be seen as solar. As you can see, at $41, we can have, to be specific, a megawatt per hour of electricity at just $41. This tells you how affordable solar, being a renewable energy, has become more sustainable. If we look at coal accounts for over $162, and even nuclear is more expensive, which is $174. So the question now is not, is renewable energy affordable? It is definitely affordable. Going further with the opportunities that we have to explore. The opportunities are out there and they are booming at a significant rate. So let's look at the opportunities out there for us. Actually, black is not the new good. Green now is the new good. If we look at the first number here, we've seen that the projected value of green economy in 2024 was projected to be 5 trillion, and in 2030, which is 4 years to come, the green economy is valued to be around 7 trillion, which is growing at 15% annual rate. And this is one of the fastest industry apart from the tech. 16.6 million people are currently employed in the renewable energy sector, which is 2.3 on a year on a global growth rate. And if we look further, over 18 million new green jobs are being included in the job industry every year. Further, over 2 trillion of clean energy investment in 2024, which is 10 times more than the fossil fuel. This tells you all these numbers are not just fabricated numbers. These are numbers of what is actually going on. 91% of the renewable projects in 2024 were cheaper than the one with fossil fuel. And if we look at the last number here, that 2 times faster, renewable energy growth are 2 times faster compared to a conventional business. And I share a quote from the UN Secretary General Antonio, which emphasized that renewable energy is powering down to the fossil fuel, and it actually is decreasing the influence or the intensity of the fossil fuel age. What we're seeing is we're seeing a record growth break in creating a job of renewable energy, lowering energy bills, and cleaning out our air. And the topic is, do you want to be part of the growth? And do you want to sit on top of the table of discussion of this renewable energy opportunity that is booming? Let's look at the real change which is happening in practice. We have some case study of couples of countries. Take an example, Costa Rica, that generate over 99% of their electricity comes from renewable energy. And primarily those energy comes from hydro, wind, or even geothermal. Costa Rica has achieved this significant growth we've seen Costa Rica is not a wealthy country, not to talk about they were able to suffocate any other part of their investment. But we've seen that regardless of how the purchasing power of this small country is, they've already invested significantly in education and environmental costs. Take an example of a country which is closer to us, Denmark, in Copenhagen. 74% of emission reduction in 2010, and one of the most impressive urban climate achievements we've seen. And this city has totally redirected its 2025 carbon neutrality goal towards 2030. And also we've seen some cities like Malmö in Sweden, in which majority of those electricity that is being used during the winter to heat the home comes from the waste generation. Another company that we could look into is Patagonia, in which many of us are familiar with, and they've been one of the exemplars whenever we talk about sustainability. So they believe that in order for them to reach a sustainable goal, all stakeholders who are involved in their business process have to share the same mindset. And in 2022, the founder Yvonne transferred this ownership so that all profits go to the fighting for the environmental cause. So we've seen that in the case of Patagonia, revenue grew significantly, even as if the company urged their customers to buy less and to save more. So we've seen the science, we've seen the opportunity, and now let's look at the action. What step can we take today in order to become the part of this transition? 5 things I will emphasize you can do today. First is to join a divestment campaign. As you can see, there are over 250 universities, including Harvard, Oxford, and Cambridge, have divested their over 40 trillion research based on sustainable costs. There is a shift from plant-based, there is a shift to conventional to plant-based consumption. And we can see that food system, which account for over 1/3 of the global emission, if we shift our focus, our emphasis, our action to plant-based eating, so definitely there's going to be demand in this, and we are contributing to sustainable costs. The third one is to apply for sustainable grants. We've seen a college in the US, Emerson College, they went from carbon neutral, and they became one of an exemplar that we use in the case study of sustainability today. The fourth one, which it is easy to act, each individual, is to use active and public transport. And we've seen that public transport contributes to one of the fastest growing emission costs. Take an example of a case study of Gothenburg that runs 99% of their renewable powered by public transit. They walk, bike, or even take bus instead of driving their own car. And the last one is to advocate, is to voice. And Costa Rica is a case study of that. Their green energy came from political choice. And we've seen that the political choice, the voice of the people, the mindset of the people about the cost of the sustainability has drive Costa Rica to be one of the most sustainable, environmentally sustainable nations on earth today. As you can see below here, we've seen that the 3.50% rule, which says that no government can withstand a challenge from 3.5% of the population, which means if a campus has 10,000, that's just around approximate of 350 people. So in your university, just 3.5% of the entire population can make a course, can change a course, can drive a growth, and can make things happen. So the question is, do you want to be part of this future that is booming? Do you want to be part of this transition that becomes opportunity for us? Because the only way for us to survive is to change our mindset. And if our mindset becomes more sustainable, and then I think we are achieving a further future. And I will end my presentation by emphasizing about, according to United Nations, what is sustainability? Sustainability is the ability to take care of tomorrow without taking advantage of today. So whatever action we do today, make sure we don't take advantage of tomorrow. Thank you very much. And now we are heading to the second presentation for today. And our second presenter is going to be Lena Zukauskiene. Lena Zukauskiene is the head of Innovation Support Service at Lithuanian Agricultural Advisory Service. Our work focuses on fostering agricultural innovation, supporting knowledge transfer, and strengthening collaboration between farmers, advisors, and researchers. She's actively involved in international projects and network, particularly in the area of climate smart agriculture and sustainability. Our experience includes project development, stakeholders engagement, and promoting practical farmer innovation that create real impact. Our topic of presentation today would be agricultural innovation in practice, turning ideas into real-world impact.
Hello, everyone. My name is Lina Žukauskienė. I work as a head of innovation support service at Lithuanian Agricultural Advisory Service. I'm very pleased to be here today and to have opportunity to talk about agricultural innovation. Agriculture is a very interesting example of innovation because it combines technology, business, environment, and everyday decision making. Through my work at advisory service with innovation projects, I have opportunity to see innovations from different perspectives, from creating new technologies, new ideas, to implementation in real-life conditions. Agricultural innovation shapes our everyday life in many different ways. Agriculture is no longer just about farming. It affects what we eat, how much we pay. It shapes climate and environmental impact. It increasingly drives technology and data use. Agricultural innovation influences jobs, economy, and society, and even more than many people realize. Agricultural innovation demonstrates real-world innovation challenges, because agricultural innovation must be implemented in very complex and constantly changing conditions. Nowadays, agriculture is rapidly becoming a high-tech industry. Some key innovation areas in agriculture include artificial intelligence, predictive analytics, using of drones and satellite imagery, autonomous machinery and robotics, sensors and real-time monitoring, digital tools and precision farming. All these technologies help farmers to improve their productivity, sustainability, and of course efficiency of farming. These are some real examples of agricultural innovation that already creates real impact. One of them is precision farming. It helps farmers optimize fertilizer and pesticide use according to actual field conditions. At the same time, it reduces resources waste and lowers environmental impact. Precision farming helps farmers to improve their farming efficiency and productivity. Another example of agricultural innovation is the use of drones and satellite data. These technologies allows crop monitoring and early problem detection. At the same time, they allow farmers to react faster and make more precise interventions. At the same time, it improves productivity and risk management. Agricultural innovation is not a technology, it's a process. This process usually starts from new idea or new research. In the phase of project or testing, these new decisions are tested under real conditions. The second step is practice. Innovation is adopted in real farms. When farmers, agricultural advisors start using new decisions in real decision making. Only then agricultural innovations can make real impact. In agricultural innovation, the most challenging thing is implementation. Why is so? Agricultural innovation must work under complex real-world conditions. Farmers face weather uncertainty, for example, droughts, rainfalls, or heat waves. As well, farmers face economic pressure, including changing market prices, rising input costs, and of course, investments. Often technology themselves are quite complex. They require new skills, new knowledges, and new investments. Trust and behavioral barriers are also very important because agricultural innovation often requires a big change in traditional farming practices and everyday decision-making. Agricultural innovations have also to be adapted to local conditions, farm size, climate, soil type, and various environmental conditions. What makes agricultural innovation work in practice? Future creators should think about simplicity and usability of agricultural innovation. Of course, clear economic benefits, agricultural advisory support, because when farmers get professional support, guidance, and advice, they adopt innovations much easier. Gradual integration into practice. As I already mentioned, innovation is a process, not a sudden change. And peer learning and trust. Farmers are more likely to adopt these innovations that are already successfully adopted in other farms. Nowadays, agricultural innovation is not limited to agriculture alone. The development of this innovation requires diverse skills and professional backgrounds. IT and data specialists contribute through development of artificial intelligence, digital tools, decision support systems. Business and management experts help develop strategies, efficiency, new business models. Marketing and communication skills are very important for user experience, awareness, and adoption. Law and governance specialists help to develop regulation, compliance, and support policymakers. Logistic and service specialists contribute through supplying change, operations, and resource efficiency. What are the key implications for future creators? Future professionals must be able to think beyond technology and ideas. As well, understand real-world conditions. Focus on usability and implementation. Collaboration across different sectors and fields becomes essential. As well, future creators should create solutions people actually use, because even the most advanced technology doesn't create impact if it doesn't use in real conditions. I would also like to shortly introduce my organization and its role in innovation support. Our organization, LAS, is a national agricultural advisory organization with about 400 professional advisors and specialists, and 44 offices across the country. Our advisory areas and services include accounting, business economics, crop production, livestock, forestry, occupational safety, laboratory services, and training. Today, we are strongly focused on innovation, digital solutions, and precision farming for data-driven decisions. Nowadays, we have 16 ongoing projects, Horizon Europe and national. To conclude, I would like to leave you with the one main thought. The future belongs to people who can turn ideas into impact. And this is where future creators will play a crucial role. So thank you for your attention, and I wish you a fruitful and interesting conference.
Thank you, Lina, for the presentation. And now we are heading to the last but not the least presenter for today. And our last presenter is Milda Gauliene. Milda is a communication expert, a creativity researcher, and an education content creator. The author of Creativity Card, which is a gamified education tool that helps foster creativity in schools, teams, and everyday life. She's also one of the creators of the podcast Kuribotira, where she explored the nature of creativity, ideas, and application in real life and work. Milda also created and released first mobile app book called Per Minute. And our topic of presentation today will be centered around the Creator Toolbox, Practical Creativity in Action.
Hello everyone, my name is Milda, and today's our topic would be like the Creator's Toolbox, Practical Creativity in Action. You may wonder what it is, so let's dive into it. For me, creativity is like those different dots, like your ideas, your experience, your knowledge, your curiosity, your background, and everything else. And you may see that those dots, like in the area, they are separate, they move, and every time you experience something new, you get more of those dots. And we all are creative. We're born creative. We are every time creative, but we inherit talent. But creativity is something we need to train. You may ask why, but it's a simple example. If you do not go to the gym, you kind of weaker and you cannot become Iron Man or Iron Woman. So the same situation is with creativity as well. If you do not train that creativity, it gets weaker and weaker, and you kind of feel lonely a bit, or you may think of yourself that you are not creative and you are not inventing something new and you do not have creative ideas. But creativity is not the area that goes just for artists, for the designers and other professions like that. Creativity is really important for every person and in every area and in every study and in every field. Like if you have a problem, you need to have a creative solution for that problem. So every problem becomes an opportunity, not an obstacle. So here comes creativity, and if you train your creativity, you get even more opportunities to conquer those problems. So as I mentioned, those different dots in area, like those experiences, your knowledge, your curiosity, your background, in those different dots, if you build a new system with those dots, it became something new, and you become like an inventor every time with those dots. So how it works, for example, if you want to train your creativity. So from my professional and personal experience, I just created a tool, creativity cards, that can help to train that creativity muscle. And it works in a fun way. You have different tasks and you can build it individually. You can play it with your friends, with your colleagues, and it stops automatic thinking. It offers you new perspectives. It forces the brain to form connections. And some might think that those tasks and ideas might seem silly, but every task gives you a restriction, and every restriction opens new ways to boost your creative thinking. So this is how those creative card works, and this is a nice tool to train your creativity in a nice, fun way. So you can start from scratch. You don't need anything else like those cards and empty paper. You just read a task. It might seem what they are asking for. They might sound stupid or even strange sometimes, but then you don't think too seriously every time. You can get new inspirations and you stop thinking in that isolated bubble. So you start thinking of new innovations and new ideas. So this is one of the examples how those tasks look like. And there is a creative challenge for every one of you. So imagine there is an orange in front of you and think at least 10 ways how to use it. So I just want to mention that we hit a record with this task. So the group of people just thought 100 solutions how we can use the orange. So here's a challenge for you. And my inspiration for you would be like, be curious, be every time open-minded, and select those dots and make a new figures out of that. So let's create and let's connect. Thank you.
Thank you for the presenter who have presented in the first part of the conference, and now we're heading to the second part of the conference. The link to the second part of the conference has been sent to the email, or you can find it on our website where the program of the event of the conference today is. Thank you a lot for all the presenters who are presenting, and we can't wait to see you in the second part of the conference. Thank you, and see you very soon.